from enjoying the view of hiking to being hunted like animals. Back to the United States, there was a certain group of people who traveled around the world to climb different tall mountains. It was like their daily habit, or I will call it a hobby, since they have been gifted different medals for achieving unachievable things. They did this climbs for almost 10 years. But one day an idea came to their mind in which they didn't knew it would lead to their end of breathing. According to one of them, there was a certain mountain located along northwest of Africa, in which it has a history of people disappearing whenever they go there to climb it, and no one has ever explained what was really going on there. Others claim people they fall while climbing, others say it had some witchcraft powers, even the mountain was known as the Mountain of Death. But all of this was like a joke to Jenny and Kim, the team members. They really tried to convince others not to go there because the mountain had its own history. But all they could claim was, that is just people words, don't trust them, they are cowards. And they insisted more on going there. I wish they knew. And so they enjoyed their last dinner together while planning on how they would progress on their journey to the Mountain of Death in the next day. Among the team, others were couple and others were husband and wife. In short, their lives were full of happiness. That night, while others are celebrating, Kim continued to make different calls asking if the history of the mountain was true, and all the answers were the same. That mountain is called a Mountain of Death for a reason. According to him, he had many doubts on going there. He tried to warn others, but no one could concentrate with him. They even started playing with him and laughing at him, saying he don't know what he was talking about. And so Kim didn't have much choice other than joining them. And so that morning everybody packed things that will be needed for the climb because it would be a 2-day adventure. And so one-on-one they went up to the Mountain of Death. It had a really calm weather and magnificent views. No one could ever think that tons of different people have been disappearing in that forest. Remember, in total they were like a group of 5 people. And so without wasting of time they started setting their gadgets ready to start the climb. But when Kim and Jenny looked around, they really felt something was off with that place. The problem was they didn't have proof to convince their friends otherwise. But trust me, they weren't wrong, since as they were planning on how to climb the mountain, there was a group of men who were tracking them down and observing them from a distance. But once something had been planned, it had to be finished. And so our team started their climbing. They were full of happiness on their face since it had been 3 hours since they arrived at the mountain and nothing had happened to them yet. And so they started believing truly that all the stories they have been hearing about that place was all false. But tell me, if that was the truth, then why was a group of men with fire guns on their hand following them? But the moment of truth was on its way. Back to our team, they continue climbing while taking pictures for memories. Now it had been 4 hours of climbing and they had reached nearly the top of the mountain. But things were about to turn around. As one of their men was about to reach at the top of mountain, all they heard was his body dropping down with force to the ground. They were all in shock in what was going on. That is where Kim looked around and he detected those men with guns, and they are the ones who shot one of their member with a sniper gun. He informed the others, and so they started fighting for their lives while running. No one really understood what the men wanted because they continued shooting at them. It was like a hunting game whereby at this point our team was the animals hunted. What they didn't knew is that this men they have been hunting down and kill every person who was visiting that place. It was like their hobby. And that's why there have been stories that people have been disappearing whenever they go to climb that mountain. Now you know the truth. So Kim continued hiding themselves to save their life. No one had the effort of talking at the moment because they were all in shock. They have never been in a situation like this. I wish they had listened to Kim at the first place. No cell phone network, no nearby towns or road. In short, they were on their own, and so they had to come with a plan for survival. But let me say the truth, because at this situation the fire to burn their soul had already began and no way it could be turned off. Despite they tried hard to shout for help, no one could save them. And that being said, the hunt men had a good opportunity to eliminate our team. And that was their last climb. No one ever had of them again up to now.